Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here then hi, my name is Miss Paris and on my channel you can find tips, advice and information all about teaching as well as being able to follow along with my own personal journey. Little bit of an update on Petite Primary since you were last here or since I last released a video. I have now launched a website. I am no website-y techie person, but I'm quite proud of myself, so I will leave the link in the description below. I'm not going to talk to you about it. Feel free to have a browse or don't, but if you do, please leave me some feedback, some constructive criticism, absolutely fine, because I just want to make it the best it can possibly be. With that being said, let's go into interview questions. I mean, it's the dreaded thing, isn't it? You're kind of sitting there with an interviewer and you're like, oh my gosh, please let me say something smart. So this video is to help you prepare for that situation, and I am going to do so by telling you 3 or 4, depending if you're lucky, awkward questions that interviewers might ask you that you need to be prepared for when you're applying for a teaching job. So question number 1, awkward question number 1, is if an interviewer asks you what is your greatest strength. Now it is so easy to either not be sure, try and be humble and kind of undermine yourself. It is very easy to just list qualities such as, you know, if you're obviously going for a teacher job, you might say, oh, I'm really good with kids, I'm really patient, I'm really this, I'm really that, and just list loads of words. It's not very interesting for them to listen to. So what I would do is I would have a range of sentence starters to help you tackle this question. Let's say you're a career changer. You might say, my background in yada yada is my biggest strength because it taught me, and then you list some skills, which is important in the classroom because. Or if you're a career changer, it might be, my biggest strength is my background in Y because it allowed me to practice said skill or implement said strategy or learn organizational skills, etc., to then implement in the classroom. It's really, really good that if you are taking that route, you are a career changer and you're going to go with that sentence starter, that you make sure that you transfer those skills back to the classroom, that you highlight why they are useful. If you're not a career changer and you've just come, let's say from uni, or you finished your PGCE or teacher training, then what you can do for a strength is to refer to your previous mentor or your previous head teacher or somebody in your placement and mention something that they have said. So you could say, my mentor always told me that XYZ, which meant a lot to me because it shows that I am blah, 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 or that I have yada, yada, yada skill. At the end of this, I will try, if I remember, to kind of write up some example answers that you guys can take away. If not, I will create a little template or example answers that you can download in the description as well. In case you didn't know, I also have an interview bundle. It's a workbook of 50 potential questions that you might be asked in an interview, and then there's a Word document as well with some example answers. If you're kind of stuck and you're watching this video because you're like, oh my gosh, they could ask me anything and I don't know where to start, then that might be a really useful resource for you. One last nice little sentence starter is, one good thing I bring to the table is ... because that is kind of a perfect thing to get you going on your answer, but also it's really generic. So you could talk about a skill, you could talk about a personality trait, you could do a mixture of both, you could then implement some previous feedback from a mentor or a tutor. And it's a really, really nice way to get the question going without having to start the answer with, because that is something that I think we've all done at some point, and it's not the most professional thing, and we want to try and avoid that. Also, I need to sort this brightness out because I don't know what happened. We're gonna have to go a bit more somber, guys. Okay, awkward question number 2 is the question of, tell me about yourself. Because how do you answer that? I mean, my name is, this is how old I am, and like, do you go through your CV then? Do you go through your background experience? Do you just list loads of hobbies? What is the right answer here? Well, let me tell you. So the best way to approach this question is actually do like a past, present and a future. Imagine yourself as a timeline. So you might do a really brief introduction about your past. Say, let's say you come from a family of teachers, you could say, you know, my mum was a teacher and my dad was a teacher, and I was always looking at what they were doing after school. They would always tell me stories. They would, you know, share with me these kind of light bulb moments that they had with their pupils, and I was always really inspired by that. Then you go on to the present. So currently I am training with X university, X GIT director. You might, if you're a career changer, say that I'm currently working in this, but I've always wanted to be in the classroom, and so I decided to start teacher training, and that's where I am today. You could also say, if you have a relevant university degree, you could talk about those modules that you learned and how you apply to them in your current job, or how you plan to, you know, approach them in your classroom with your first class. And then if you go on to the future, talk about what you would like to do in future. There's this kind of assumption, and I know it's not for everyone, but they like it in interviews. There's this assumption that in future you want to progress somehow. You want to become a subject lead. You would love to be a mentor. You would love to run a club. You would love to do something. And it's a nice way for the school to decide, particularly if it's for a permanent job, whether or not you are worth the long-term investment. So past, a little bit about the past, maybe something that inspired you to go into teaching, or if you're a very experienced teacher, then past experiences that you've had. Present, what are you currently doing? What are you currently studying? What current skills are you building up? What are you working on? And future, where do you see yourself in, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years time? Or don't even put a time on it. Just say, you know, in future, I hope to achieve XYZ by doing ABC. And I know it's really annoying that I'm not filling in the gaps, but talking to a camera when it's not even a person and having zero thinking time / not wanting to rely on any script is quite difficult to do it. So I promise I will kind of leave a little template below for you so that you can fill it in yourself. The third question that is so awkward is, tell me about your greatest weakness. I mean, the whole point of an interview is you're trying to sell yourself here. So suddenly to be asked, what are you not great at, is a really difficult one to answer. Now for this, you want to make sure that you don't necessarily say something that is a vital quality or skill for teaching. If you say, sometimes I lose patience with the children, I mean, come on. Don't say that in an interview. Even if it's true, do not say that. You want to focus on a skill or something that is not cliche, but also isn't vital for teaching. It's something that if you did have that and it was a strength of yours, then it would be advantageous, but otherwise, leave it be. This could be something like, I'm really trying to become a better listener at the moment because I know that my colleagues have such great ideas and I would like to, you know, benefit from those more. Sometimes I get inside of my head and I get a bit distracted, so I want to really try and work on that. I'm working on it by. That's a really, really important thing. If you just say weakness and then that's your full stop, it doesn't show that you're being proactive in trying to address it. So you say your weakness, then say, I'm trying to work on this by, or you say, I'm challenging myself to improve to help that. And this shows that you're actually always committed to the growth. As educators, as teachers, we're not just about teaching the children. We're about teaching ourselves, we're about improving ourselves, personal growth. I mean, that book over there, ooh, I can't point, that red book over there, that's like a book about tools to like lead your best life. I've got, oh, they're in the lounge, but I've got 2 books as well that I've borrowed from the library. It's all about growth, and this isn't just me talking because it's January 2024. This is all year round. You always want to try and improve somehow. Even after a lesson, you want to show reflection. So in conclusion, say a quality, a skill, a personality attribute that's not key, vital for teaching, and say how you are currently addressing it. Make sure to avoid cliches. Don't just say something really bluntly and then move on. Don't just list something and then not say how you're trying to address it, because they're not just trying to see your personal weakness or your area of development. It's about your ability to reflect. It's about your professionalism, and it's about any way that they might need to support you in future. So if you are an ECT and obviously you're going to have a mentor, or if maybe, you know, you haven't taught for a while, you've been on supply and it's your first class, your own class in a long time, they might be looking at, okay, where might we need to support them? Where might we be able to put them on a course? Where could we find some CPD that would support them in this area. Because remember, we are a team and we always want to try and improve ourselves so that we can help the pupils improve as much as possible and make as much progress as possible. Whew. I feel like I haven't recorded something in ages and I've just spoken really, really quickly. But in conclusion, greatest strength, think of those sentence starters that you can always use. So if your greatest strength kind of changes from what you prep to the actual interview stage, you still have that nice fluent starter. You could talk about things that your mentors have or tutors have said to you, or maybe even previous colleagues. You could also mention previous skills that you've gained as a result of a previous job. Tell me about yourself. Think of it as a timeline. Past, little bit of a past thing, make sure it's related to teaching as much as possible. Present, what are you currently doing? What are you currently studying to help you as a teacher? If you're currently in another job and you're transferring, or you just took a year out, what did you accomplish? And then future, what do you want to do? Greatest weakness, do not focus on something that is so important for teaching. If you're in doubt about what I mean, just think about the teacher standards. If there's anything that's in there that you'd say your greatest weakness, do not say that. Come up with something else. And also remember to talk about how you're challenging yourself to improve that. How are you being proactive in doing that? I will make a little template. Either I will put it in the description or I'll leave a link to go and download it, and also I will leave a link to my website for you to check out, where you can also buy my interview bundle if you are interested in having a nice little booklet of 50 potential questions that you can just write out. I have also newly updated that, so I'm quite excited about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you very soon. Don't forget to subscribe for more teacher related content, and yeah, see you later. Bye.